You'll see before me this busted up slab of concrete, and I stand here quite frustrated because I just recorded one of the greatest intros I think I've ever done. Recorded, performed for nobody, because I didn't ever hit record on my camera before I started it. So anyway, SparkNotes version. You guys may remember from a video a long time ago, I mentioned that this slab that the washer and dryer was sitting on had Biff and Pam, February '97, engraved in it. I said a few words of appreciation to all the past owners of this house. Told Biff and Pam they were probably a beautiful couple. Told them it was nothing personal, that I was destroying their work. And then I busted the slab in half so that I could get it out of here. Tried to preserve their engravement, and it split right across the center, perfectly separating the word Biff and the word Pam. And I can't help but think that that's probably a sign that they may have separated or divorced at some point. Anyway, I'm thankful that Biff and Pam didn't rebar this thing down to the slab and use wire. Make my life suck getting it out of here. Oh, they engraved it in another location. This one is a lot harder to see. BRTF 97? That's older than me. I was born in '99. I don't like seeing that this has been holding moisture underneath it ever since 1997. That's not very cool, Biff and Pam. Perk of the steel toe boot. Rest the concrete on it for just a second. You guys see that auto shuttage of that door? I cannot wait to replace that thing and not have that problem anymore. Of course. Look at how fast it shuts. Like I don't even have time to walk around and try to grab onto the wheelbarrow. Alright, so new discovery. I looked at the water heater and I saw a little bit of wet. And I was like, huh, there's no water lines around this. That doesn't make any sense. And then I noticed a little bit of wet on the bottom of the roof sheathing. And then I noticed an old vent pipe hole from where the water heater used to be gas. So I need to take that vent off and cap that so that it doesn't leak anymore. Surprisingly, this wood doesn't feel... Oh, never mind. I guess I was poking it like down here. Okay, so the wood is just mulch. So that's something that will have to be addressed. So with my slab corrections, I'm going to want it to be right in line with the bathroom, the new bathroom slab. So I set the laser right there, and that got it perfectly splitting this top edge. It could come up maybe an eighth. Nice thing about the floor being out of level is all I got to do to raise the level or raise the laser is just slide it back a little bit. Okay, that is perfectly splitting the top corner. So now we've got a level line across all these studs, and I can measure off the slab on this side I need to be right at 2 inches, and then measure down 8 feet, because that's how long my OSB strips are. 3 inches. Alright, 2 to 3 across 8 feet. Alright, it's Saturday morning. Here's the game plan. Can't remember if I mentioned or not in the video before, but I've noticed that this slab is not only leaning this way, but as you come farther this way, it's also leaning this way. So it drops from where the camera is to over here 2 inches, I think. And it's about a consistent 3 inches like this the whole way. So we kind of need to pour I don't know what kind of shape that would be. Almost kind of like a triangle that tapers back over this way. So since that's going to be such a significant volume of concrete that we need to add, that would take like hundreds of bags of self-leveler, and that stuff's like $55 a bag. I talked to one of my friends that is a manager for a flooring company, and he said what you can do when you have slabs that are out this bad is pour regular concrete on top of the concrete, as long as you use a primer and attach it. He said he recommended just drilling a bunch of Tapcons, that's concrete screws, into the concrete and leave them sticking out, and then that acts as like little dowels to tie the new slab into the old slab, and then do the concrete primer. And then he said you can just pour regular concrete on top of it, and then you can fill in. Since the concrete has aggregate in it, you can't get a perfect tapered down slope. You're only going to be able to get it within, you know, a half inch or so, whatever the size of the aggregate is. Then on top of that, you can fill that with self-leveler and get it all perfect. It's kind of hard to get an exact calculation of how many bags it's going to take, since it's not just rectangles. And they come 42 bags to a pallet. So I've got 1 pallet today. And I'm going to build my next form. I guess what I'm going to do, since it's going to take so many, is I'm going to build another form right here-ish, about the halfway point. I'll do that pour today. And then we'll hopefully be able to get the forms up. Once that's poured, get the forms up over here and prep this one, and then maybe pour this one tomorrow. But there's a little rundown of what's going to be coming, what you're going to be seeing, because my friends are coming over again. They're going to be helping. I don't know how much talking there's going to be, but let's hope this goes okay. So I'm going to go, we've got 25 feet from the bathroom wall to this exterior wall. I'm going to go right at 13, just because that looks like a clean stopping point. So from that end to over here, our slab drops 1.5 inches on this side. See how far I can see the laser here. It looks like we need about 3 to 1.5 inches. Okay, so conveniently, this room is already only 8 feet wide, so don't have to cut the form to length, but this is just a strip of OSB that I cut out of square. So I set it right on my 2 marks. I don't know if you can see, but I'm splitting the laser right across the top. This one needs to come up just about 1/8 of an inch. I'm going to leave this off for now, because we're going to be coming through here with a bunch of stuff, and this is just OSB, so it's going to get destroyed easily. But as we work our way this way, once we start getting close, I'm going to screw down a couple 2x4s on the back of this, and then screw this to it, and then this will be our guide as we pour this way. But for now, I'm just going to keep it out of the way. Alright, time to make a dust storm. Alright, so this is the concrete primer that I'm going to use. You're supposed to roll it onto the paintbrush, but I don't, or a paint roller, but I don't have one. So I'm going to use my old grout float to spread this. It's really thin. Gosh.
Oh my god. Sit down right there.
Sure. We can make it a little easier. Could set the wheelbarrow right there on the deck and just set them in the wheelbarrow, and then we can roll a bunch of them in here.
Did you buy them matched, Dalton?
Yeah, they're in that box on the right side of my bed.
You want to grab me one too?
Yeah, there should be 2 left in there. Let's just observe what happens and then see just how this is gonna go. I haven't poured a slab with this thing yet, so
And it's fine if it goes down in the cracks here.
yeah, it's not a big deal. Alright, it's the next morning. Not perfect, but it's certainly good enough for what it's going to be. If you guys are confused about this little area right here, this is the high spot that we're matching. You can kind of see with the bathroom slab. That's where it tapered off. So this is our high point. So obviously the concrete with the gravel aggregate can only taper down so small. So I've still got this area that will have to be filled in with regular mortar and self-leveler. So I went ahead, I checked everything with the laser. Actually very surprised how good it is. We're within a 1/4 inch everywhere except right here. There's a random low spot that'll have to be filled in. But besides that, it's mostly just these ridges. We got the wrong tools for the job, obviously. We're getting it done with improper hardware and the lack of experience. So got a lot of these ridges. Some of that will have to be ground, and then some of it, if I do a little bit of self-leveler here and there, I can take care of the rest of it. But overall, we're within a 1/4 inch everywhere, which I think is really good. I think it helped having the laser set up, and we were referencing it, holding the trowels up and referencing, where it's at. but I've never done. The only other slab I've ever poured was the bathroom slab, and I even did that one in 2 sections so that I could do 2 smaller pours. So pouring a 13-foot slab was new for me. It is so nice looking across there and seeing it just level straight into the bathroom for the first time ever. So today, I'm about to pull that form off, and then I've got to prep this area, and I'm going to pour up to like right here-ish. Whenever I shoot my laser, I'm going to mark the bottom of the door, pull the door off, and cut that much off. This door is getting replaced. Fun fact, I don't even know if you guys know this isn't even an exterior door. I mean, obviously, it's a door that goes to the exterior, but this is an interior door. I don't know if you see how much that flexes. Definitely not meant to be an exterior door. And then like look at the gapo of it. And it does have a stop, it's just that far below it. No weather stripping, little tiny threshold that does nothing. So that's getting replaced soon. So that means, for the meantime, I don't mind cutting a big portion off the bottom. But the reason I plan to stop here is so that next time when I have some time, I can, I think what I'm going to have to do, since the wall is sitting on the slab that's out of level, I'm going to have to cut off the bottom of these studs. It's not a load-bearing wall. And hopefully leave everything else just kind of hanging, or make some braces and stuff. And then that way I can pour just this new wall section level, and then have a level spot to put my door and have my wall sitting on a level area. But I don't think I'm gonna have time to mix that in with pouring all this and then have enough time for it to dry enough that I could build the wall back onto it. And I don't want to have this open for the night and the rest of the week, because today's Sunday. So if it's not complete today, it'll have to be like that for the rest of the week. But anyway, there's the recap and the game plan. Let me get back to it. Alright, there's that. I figure you guys probably saw what I did was just cut the bottom of the door off, which I recorded that, and then I screwed the bottom to the door frame on both sides to close that gap up. And then the door is just cut off, swings over the slab. So I left it 7 inches off the wall. That gave me a little bit of room to step and work, just in case we needed to. And then I can fill that in next weekend. I'll be able to cut those studs off, pull the siding off the outside, build a form out there, and I can just pour just that section for the wall out of some fast setting concrete. That way maybe I can pour in the morning and then put the new door on and stuff at night and not have to leave anything open overnight. There we go. That's a 25 by 8 by 2-ish, 3. You know, it's weird. The thickness is weird because it's nothing here, tapering to 2.5 over here, 3 over here, 3 right here. So, you know, for anyone curious, that was 50 bags through the mud mixer. 50 in one weekend. 50 80-pound bags. Fortunately, I had a few down in the storage unit still from when I poured the bathroom slab. So I did 42 was a full pallet, and then a few more out of the storage unit. So nice to see it all level in here. For so long it's looked like, I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with Silver Dollar City, but Grandfather's Mansion, that weird building that they've got in there that's all wonked and out of level. That's how it's felt in here forever, but standing on a level floor in here feels so different. You see the wall that's still leaning. When you had the floor leaning out of level that you were standing on, and then seeing that versus, you know, this plumb wall, it was all so strange. So nice to have that done. Very, very nice to have some help yesterday and today. And I think that's going to be that for this video. I'm going to go get something to eat. I am starving. So as always, thank you guys for your support and your comments, and thanks for watching.